This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update for Friday, June 14th, 2019. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. More than $200,000. That's the amount service providers and individuals tell Barbados Today they're owed by the Democratic Labour Party, DLP, for services rendered during the party's 2018 general election campaign. And their attempts to get paid in full have failed. The services range from stage lighting and sound to advertising and meeting coordinators. The affected companies include Williams Industries, GKY Lighting, SNR Rentals, and ANR Electrical. Barbados Today's Randy Bennett spoke to DLP President Frela de Pisa about the claims.
Does the DLP have outstanding debts to persons who have worked for the election campaign?
I have no authority to discuss DLP business in the public domain.
Can you tell me if anyone has reached out to you asking for payment for services rendered during the DLP election campaign?
No, I can't tell you that.
With dozens of party cruises scheduled for this year's crop over season, promoters are pleading for more action to deal with the unprecedented spate of violence. Their call follows this week's shooting death of a security guard. Barbados Today's Karim Smith reports.
A gradual increase in violence on cruises has resulted in the implementation of numerous security protocols over the years. However, the recent fatal shooting of security guard Dave Archer while at a Sanssouci promotional cruise on the MV Dream Chaser has started a new conversation on the issue. Shaquille Graves, promoter of popular summer cruise Beards and Bikinis, argued boat owners and promoters have been taking reasonable steps to respond to safety concerns and argues discussions on crime should not be restricted to party cruises.
I don't think it's a problem with the cruises, to be honest. It's the country in a whole. As I say, I'm hearing people blaming cruises. They're not going on cruises anymore. You know what I mean? Oh boy, cruises are scary. But to be honest, somebody was in Sheraton, if you follow me. Somebody was in town. Is more something we have to do as a country and all other on party cruises. Nothing I can give the party cruises. They do it all.
While suggesting more support from the police and Coast Guard, promoter of the Popular Waves cruise Ken Mason said the conversation around violence ought to start before patrons boarded the vessels.
The conversation should never be at this point, because to me it's the ending point. A man is lost life but before it gets to that point. You understand what can be done in the communities to prevent people from having these guns, to prevent them from even getting on the street. These are things, to me, that's where the conversation should be headed towards, before dealing with the promotion and the promoter.
Other promoters examined the possibility of more vessels demanding private security services from the police, while others complained that such services were simply too expensive. In the meantime, some promoters have been restricting registration for cruises to persons known to themselves and their committee members to provide a greater level of security through exclusivity. Karim Smith for Barbados Today.
Meantime, a top member of the Police High Command says many violent incidents are due to perceived disrespect. Deputy Commissioner of Police Erwin Boyce was delivering the feature address yesterday at the 2019 Drug Awareness Resistant Education Day Graduation and Awards Ceremony at the George Lamin Primary School.
Disrespect leads to all sorts of criminal activity. Leads to very serious criminal activity, because there is an interpretation that disrespect falls into the category of criminality. We want you to understand as youngsters that yes, people would say things that are not consistent with your behavior. People would do things that are not consistent as far as you were taught. But that does not mean that that person has disrespected you to the extent that you would get hold of some weapon and demonstrate to that person that that is a level of disrespect.
As Barbados moves full steam ahead towards the medical cannabis industry, employers say they're keeping a close eye on developments. Their umbrella body, the Barbados Employers Confederation, is particularly concerned about the implications of legislative changes. Yvonne Hall outlined their concerns yesterday at the start of a forum on decriminalization of marijuana.
Our concern is not from the perspective of commerce and the potential for economic growth. Rather, our concerns as employers revolve around the varying and potential effects of this drug on persons in the workplace and in the discharge of their duties. Will there be an impact on health and safety at work? What impact, if any, could there be on productivity? What are the legal implications for employers? What should be our response at an organizational policy level?
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To the region, scores of Trinidadians last night staged anti-migrant protests outside the Queen's Park Oval. They're up in arms about the number of Venezuelans being allowed into the country. The action came as the registration of the migrants enters its final day. Police Commissioner Gary Griffith told CNC3 News that permission wasn't sought for the protest. And on the international scene, Boris Johnson, who has pledged to deliver Brexit at the end of October, edged closer to power yesterday when he won by far the most support from Conservative Party lawmakers in the first round of the contest to replace Prime Minister Theresa May. We get the details from France 24.
This first stage of voting eliminated the three Conservative candidates in their bid to replace Theresa May, and saw Boris Johnson confirmed as a clear front-runner with more than a third of the 313 votes cast by his fellow party MPs. Trailing in second place, Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt, and coming in third, Environment Secretary Michael Gove. The four other remaining candidates are Home Secretary Sajid Javid, Development Secretary Rory Stewart, Health Secretary Matt Hancock, and former Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab. And indeed, it's that issue which is dominating the race.
Good morning, everyone. The obvious big issue is Brexit. There is very little else that preoccupies the Conservative Party at the moment, and there is very little really to choose between the candidates when it comes to domestic and foreign policy, because they're not really talking much about it.
The next round of voting is set for June 18th, with a further elimination stage before the final two candidates are put to the Conservative Party's 160,000 members at the end of July.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.